As you were.
Your worship.
Inquisitor, I heard a tapping. My skills are required.
And you are?
Speaker Vios Anaxas. I have come from Navarra as a voice for the dead. Welcome them, and they will serve your cause.
Excuse me? You speak for who?
The dead. Many assume that they have misheard. I am of the Mortalitasi. We tend to those who have passed and revere their lives by honoring them in death. And when the living are threatened, we give the bodies of the dead physical purpose once more. Necromancy, Inquisitor. The dead will serve for you.
You're a mage who manipulates life. How is this not blood magic?
Blood magic consumes life. It tears at the living to manipulate and destroy. It is a cancer among our kind. We honor life by venerating the dead. We give their mortal form purpose. In combat, perhaps only for a few moments, but that is still more than they had. More than opposing you normally allows.
What is a Mortalitasi?
We are the caretakers of the Grand Necropolis of Navarra. For the treasured relative, we usher a spirit of the Fade into the void of their mortal form. It honors them both. But when enemies threaten the living, we turn death into a weapon of war, instead of merely the result.
You're saying you can bring the dead back to life?
Of course not. The souls of our departed cross the Fade to be with the Maker. The body is left empty.
Then what is it that you do?
In the Grand Necropolis, we would usher in a displaced spirit of the Fade, eliminating imbalance. But this is war. Every battlefield has one thing in abundance: death. I turn the bodies of enemies into weapons against them. We do not manipulate the living. We make use of the dead.
I'm ready to learn what you know.
Then your journey begins as others end. The steps are small, but vital. There is instruction and veneration. Then you'll return. We shall see what this life holds for you.
Thank you for Haven. Less so for Redcliffe, but I am committed to serve your worship.
Hello? Yes, hello. I am your trainer.
Yes?
I am your trainer.
You said that.
Good, because it has been a long journey. The cause is just, and if we don't start soon, you won't have time to learn. I am your trainer.
You seem a little scattered.
It's nothing. I'm just a little fatigued. It's nothing. Thank you. I was charged with studying the breach and the subsequent rifts to discover how they affected traditional disciplines. I was enthralled. So were the 19 others, I presume. They're dead. They learnt the power, but couldn't wield it. Rift Mage Inquisitor. The forces are incredible. And with training, you will be incredible. I know how not to die, and I can teach it. It's incredible.
The rifts were triggered by the breach. There's already a school of magic.
A school? No. Yes. Sort of. The holes in the veil flooded us with magic, and that can be used. It changed some rules, modified them, enough that the careless inverted themselves, old forces in new forms. Others will try, their results will vary, but you will have the best instruction. Because your trainer has already taken the risk. The price has been paid.
You didn't mention your name.
I am your trainer.
That isn't a name.
It is what I am. I try very hard to remember that much, There is so much else to keep in mind. Understand, Inquisitor, that I have learnt it all very quickly, so you do not have to.
Who charged you with studying magic from the rifts?
The Mages Collective. I did not just say that. Yes, I did say it, and we're proud to help. We are nimble, we could move quickly and commit people to this rift magic. Many people. Their lives made it stable and safe. We're very proud.
Very well. Show me how this should go.
It goes places you have been, and some you have not. That is necessary. So the price is not paid twice. Follow the instruction, and you will know the way. You'll understand the power. Then, I'll show you more. After all, I am your trainer.
Hold and declare, Inquisitor.
What do you mean?
I ask your intent. I was summoned to oversee training, and I would know my charge. I am your commander in this matter. Commander Helene.
No one commands me. I'm the Inquisitor.
Then you will learn nothing. Recruit. I teach the skills of the Knight Enchanter. It is a rank. It is a life. Understanding its hierarchy is the first step. You already know this. You were not made Inquisitor and then taught to lead. I will teach you how to rise to your place. How to join your warriors, spectral blade in hand. How to command the ranks while standing beside them. Are you ready?
Commander is a title I associate with human forces.
Knight Enchanter has roots in Elven tradition, but it has utility in every tradition. There are no borders for the mage who wields a spectral blade. There is respect, and there is fear.
Who granted your rank? What forces have you served with?
I cannot say.
Then how do I know you're capable?
You know because I have told you, and I will teach you the same authority.
Tell me why this would best suit me.
I cannot. Only you know if you are fit to lead with more than maps. Do you have the mettle to raise a blade in grand melee? To have your presence make heroes of your charges? This is a path for leaders. You tell me if you are worthy.
I'm ready to learn what you know.
Then we will begin the simple steps, recruit. And we shall see what heights you reach. You have a task, a simple construction. Go, learn, and return. Soon you will lead from the front. Soon you will command.
The order was sent?
Yes, Commander.
Send men to scout the area. We need to know what's out there.
Yes, sir!
Commander, soldiers have been assigned temporary quarters.
Very good. I'll need an update on the armory as well. Now! We set up as best we could at Haven, but could never prepare for an archdemon, or whatever it was. With some warning, we might have...
Do you ever sleep?
If Corypheus strikes again, we may not be able to withdraw. And I wouldn't want to. We must be ready. Work on Skyhold is underway. Guard rotations established. We should have everything on course within the week. We will not run from here, Inquisitor.
How many were lost?
Most of our people made it to Skyhold. It could have been worse. Morale was low, but has improved greatly since you accepted the role of Inquisitor.
Everyone has so much faith in my leadership. I hope I'm ready.
You won't have to carry the Inquisition alone, although it must feel like it. We needed a leader, and you have proven yourself.
Thank you, Cullen. Our escape from Haven, it was close. I'm relieved that so many made it out.
As am I. You stayed behind. You could have... I will not allow the events at Haven to happen again. You have my word. Was there something you needed?
Did you leave anyone behind in Kirkwall?
No. I fear I made few friends there, and my family's in Ferelden.
No one special caught your interest?
Not in Kirkwall.
Is there anything I should know?
I'm glad to have the Chargers on our side. Bull's men are professionals, despite evidence to the contrary.
Is there anything I should know?
Repairs to Skyhold's fortifications are progressing. Our scouts report no immediate threats in the surrounding area. We are fortunate Solus knew of this place.
Is there anything I should know?
I'd gotten used to mages disliking me on principle. Vivienne's views on Templars are surprisingly traditional.
I'd like to know more about the Templars.
What would you like to know?
Why did you join the Order?
I could think of no better calling than to protect those in need. I used to beg the Templars at our local chantry to teach me. At first, they merely humored me, but I must have shown promise, or at least a willingness to learn. The Knight Captain spoke to my parents on my behalf. They agreed to send me for training. I was 13 when I left home.
13? That's still so young.
I wasn't the youngest there. Some children are promised to the Order at infancy. Still, I didn't take on full responsibilities until I was 18. The Order sees you trained and educated first.
What about your family? Did you miss them?
Of course, but there were many my age who felt the same. We learned to look out for one another.
Do Templars take vows? I swear to the Maker to watch all the mages. That sort of thing.
There's a vigil first. You're meant to be at peace during that time, but your life is about to change. When it's over, you give yourself to a life of service. That's when you're given a filter, your first draft of Lyrium and its power. As Templars, we are not to seek wealth or acknowledgement. Our lives belong to the Maker and the path we have chosen.
A life of service and sacrifice. Are Templars also expected to give up physical temptations?
Physical? Why... why would you... That's not expected. Templars can marry, although there are rules around it, and the Order must grant permission. Some may choose to give up more to prove their devotion, but it's not required.
Have you?
Me? No. I've taken no such vows. Maker's breath. Can we speak of something else?
I know how I spent my time in the Circle, but what was a typical day for a Templar?
Typical. The last time I was in a circle was right before it fell apart. Nothing was typical.
Before that, then?
Certain rituals require a full guard. A mage's harrowing, for instance. I've attended a few. Most of the time, you merely maintain a presence, on patrol or in the circle, ready to respond if needed. Mages pretend to ignore that presence, but they're watching you just as closely.
We would spend all day with Templars, and yet they rarely spoke to us.
A habit often mistaken for coldness, I'm sure. But we are expected to keep a certain distance from our charges. If a mage is possessed or uses blood magic, you must act quickly, without hesitation. Your judgment cannot be clouded. Of course, ignoring one another does nothing to foster understanding.
Prior to the Conclave, I'd only encountered Templars in the Circle. Do they do anything besides guard mages?
Templars protect against the dangers of magic. Before the Order left the Chantry, that meant serving in a circle. They were also tasked with tracking apostates, or fighting demons inevitably summoned by the weak or malicious.
You've made it clear that you consider mages a threat.
Any mage can be. I won't pretend otherwise. I've seen the suffering magic can inflict. I've treated mages with distrust because of it, at times without cause. That was unworthy of me. I will try not to do so here. Not that I want mages moving through our base completely unchecked. We need safeguards in place to protect people, including mages, from possession at the least.
What does Templar training involve?
There is weapon and combat training. Even without their abilities, Templars are among the best warriors in Thedas. Initiates must also memorize portions of the Chant of Light, study history, and improve their mental focus.
Did you enjoy your training?
I want learn everything. If I was giving my life to this, I would be the best Templar I could.
You were a model student.
I wanted to be. I wasn't always successful. Watching a candle burn down while reciting the chant of transfigurations wasn't the most exciting task. I admit, my mind sometimes wandered.
That's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
Should you require anything, I'll be here. Was there something you needed?
Is there anything I should know?
Sarah brought me a piece of cake. She thought I looked hungry.
Why are you telling me this?
Because it was either an act of kindness or a trap. I was hoping you knew which.
Is there anything I should know?
Not at present.
Is there anything I should know?
Not at present.
What do you think of the people you work with?
Who do you mean?
Are you satisfied with the Inquisition's forces?
Our soldiers are well disciplined and committed to the cause. Templars and mages are not used to seeing each other as allies, but they are working together well enough thus far.
I should let you get back to work.
This thing is not a stray puppy you can make into a pet. It has no business being here.
Wouldn't you say the same of an apostate?
Inquisitor, I wondered if Cole was perhaps a mage, given his unusual abilities.
He can cause people to forget him, or even fail entirely to notice him. These are not the abilities of a mage. It seems that Cole is a spirit.
It is a demon.
If you prefer, although the truth is somewhat more complex.
I'm not sure how much more complexity I need, Solus.
Indeed, my dear. He may call it whatever he likes, but it is still a threat.
In fact, his nature is not so easily defined.
Speak plainly, Solas. What are we dealing with?
Demons normally enter this world by possessing something. In their true form, they look bizarre, monstrous.
But you claim Cole looks like a young man. Is it possession?
No. He has possessed nothing and no one. And yet he appears human in all respects. Cole is unique, Inquisitor. More than that, he wishes to help. I suggest you allow him to do so.
In my studies, demons either possessed something from this world or were summoned and bound. They almost never look like something you'd mistake for a person.
Normally you'd be correct. But Cole has willfully manifested in human form without possessing anyone.
The demons who came through the breach or through the rifts weren't possessing anything.
These demons were drawn through against their will, driven mad by this world. But Cole predates the breach. From what we can tell, he has lived here for months, perhaps years. He looks like a young man. For all intents and purposes, he is a young man. It is remarkable.
I should hear what Cole has to say for himself. Where is he now?
If none of us remember him, he could be anywhere.
Haven. So many soldiers fought to protect the pilgrims so they could escape. Choking fear. Can't think from the medicine, but the cuts rack me with every heartbeat. Hot, white pain. Everything burns. I can't. I'm going to... I'm dying. I'm... dead.
You're feeling their pain.
It's louder this close, with so many of them.
Would you like to go somewhere more comfortable?
Yes, but here is where I can help. Every breath slower, like lying in a warm bath, sliding away, Smell of my daughter's hair when I kiss her goodnight. Gone. Cracked brown pain. Dry. Scraping. Thirsty. Here.
Thank you.
It's all right. She won't remember me.
Solus tried to explain what you are, but honestly, I stopped listening after a while. Any chance you could explain it?
Yes? I used to think I was a ghost. I didn't know. I made mistakes, but I made friends too. Then a Templar proved I wasn't real. I lost my friends. I lost everything. I learned how to be more like what I am. It made me different, but stronger. I can feel more. I can help.
If you're willing, the Inquisition could use your help.
Yes, helping. I help the hurt. The helpless. There's someone. Hurts. It hurts. It hurts. Someone make it stop hurting. Make her, please. The healers have done all they can. It will take him hours to die. Every moment will be agony. He wants mercy. Help.
You say he won't die for hours yet, but you can't know that for certain.
His body is failing.
He could recover, or the healers could find another way to help him.
How do you know?
I don't, and neither do you. That's part of life.
Try. I want to stay.
At your service.
Is there anything I should know?
Not at present.
What do you think of the people you work with?
Who do you mean?
I should let you get back to work.
Lots of standards. That'll guide the dragon right in.
Of course. Another time. Oh, Bells, it's you. Morris. Sir Morris, I suppose. I am serving as quartermaster for Skyhold and its arriving throngs. Stores are growing, and so long as we have fair coin to restock, you and yours will be well served.
The previous quartermaster survived Haven. Where is she?
She had views. Has views. Perfectly legitimate ones if you share them, Inquisitor. I believe it was felt that your quartermaster should be more palatable now that the Inquisition is in Orlais. She continues to serve, just not at the fore.
What makes you ideal for this position? It's an important one.
My family has ties to several freehold militias, as well as cousins acting as officers in Ferelden and Orlais.
And your qualifications?
My family holds treaties with 3 new money Tevinter houses, and a rare Orzuma contract with a Paragon namesake.
And your qualifications?
To be honest, your worship, that was my question. I am the nexus of a dozen threads tied by others, designed to cast the widest and most appealing resource net. But I will rise to the occasion. Skyhold will want for nothing. I swear it.
How's it going? Do we have what we need?
Our capacity increases, as do our requests to suppliers. I've had to threaten some contracts. It was exhilarating.
As you were.
We are here for you, Inquisitor.
Fine day to you.
Any word?
Nothing yet.
Good to see you safe, Inquisitor. We've got trouble ahead.
If you're on edge, I should alert the entire Inquisition.
Or increase my hazard pay. That's an option.
Are things that bad? Oh.
Crestwood was the site of a flood 10 years ago during the Blight. It's not the only rift in the area, but after it appeared, corpses started walking out of the lake. You'll have to fight through them to get to the cave where Sir Hawke's Grey Warden friend is hiding.
More walking corpses. At least they won't be a surprise.
I nearly stepped on one in the grass the other night, before it started moaning. Maybe someone in Crestwood can tell you how to get to the rift in the lake. Maker knows they'll want help. Good luck, and please be safe.
Dispatch for you.
What is it?
See for yourself, sir.
Tell me, Cassandra, did your family throw suitors at you?
My uncle did, waves of them, until I broke one's arm. Then there were fewer.
I must admit I never tried that.
It was an accident. Well, mostly an accident.
Grey Wardens, thank you for your aid, Inquisitor.
What are you doing in Crestwood?
Hunting one of our own. We have orders to capture Sir Alistair of Ferelden on sight. The man's slippery as an eel. We've been chasing him for weeks.
What have you been told about this rogue warden?
Warden Commander Clarel ordered his capture. I can say no more than that. I hope Alistair comes quietly. I'd not fight the man who helped kill that many Darkspawn.
Will you stay to fight the undead here?
My orders forbid it. Crestwood was only a detour.
Is that all the aid we can offer these people?
If the Inquisition can help, I beg you to do what you can. The villagers have already lost too many.
Farewell.
Farewell.
Sir, are you sure we can't help the village?
Our orders are clear. We can't find Warden Alistair. We return to the farm.
Still doesn't feel right.
None of those wardens mentioned a new leader. I don't think they're part of Corypheus's plot to seize the Order.
I do not think so either. The infiltration in their ranks may be subtle.
I hope Hawke's warden friend has answers for us.
Corypheus, one of yours, isn't he?
One of mine? Like a pet? Like a giant darkspawn hamster with aspirations of godhood? Dorian, why can't you look after your little friends? Corypheus peed on the carpet again. In this analogy, the carpet is Haven.
Is he or is he not at Avinter Magister?
Meaning the source of everything bad and evil in the world? They are the same, yes?
Certainly feels that way at times.
Undead by the gates. The guards need help.
Thanks for your help, but I fear we haven't seen the end of these creatures. How many did we lose?
moment, Your Worship.
What's going on here?
Ever since that green light appeared, undead keep rising from the lake. The mayor can tell you more. I hope Andraste sent you, Your Worship. We've been trapped here for weeks.
Why doesn't Judith live in the village while this is going on? Make her, if something happens.
Are you looking for someone named Judith?
Oh, was I speaking out loud? Judith lives outside the village. I asked her to hide here when the undead came, but she wouldn't hear it.
Why wouldn't she hide where it's safer?
Likes her space, she says. I told Judith my house was big enough. Me and the boy could sleep in the barn if she wanted room. She turned me down.
Good day to you.
And to you.
I'll come out when it's safe. Who is that, anyway?
Please! May we use your assistance?
The Inquisitor. Oh, Mayor Dedrick of Crestwood Village. At your service, despite everything. Are you here to stop the undead?
The undead are appearing because of a rift in the Fade. How can I get to it?
The light in the lake? It's coming from the caves below Old Crestwood. Darkspawn flooded it 10 years ago during the Blight. Wiped out the village, killing the refugees we took in.
I saw a dam. If we use it to drain the lake, I can get to that Fade rift.
Drain the... There must be some other way.
We are trying to help. The Inquisitor is the only one who can close the rifts.
You'd have to evict the bandits in the old fort to use the dam. I can't ask you to risk your life.
Crestwood can't last much longer. I don't want to leave without doing what I can.
I suppose it must come to this. This key unlocks the gate to the dam controls past the fort. The rift must be in the caves under Old Crestwood. But, Inquisitor, I would not linger there.
Tell me about your village.
It's seen happier days. We farm what we can, trade with the merchants who travel the King's Road. We only want peace, Your Worship. It's all we've ever wanted.
What can you tell me about the bandits camped in the fort?
The highwaymen? Thugs and thieves. They make a living raiding caravans on the King's Road. When the dead rose from the lake, the bandits killed the old gamekeeper and the fort and took it for themselves. We could have saved people if we'd been able to hide there instead of in our homes.
I'm surprised a town as small as Crestwood outlasted the Blight.
It was a close thing. The Darkspawn followed a band of refugees running from the Blight. Some of the refugees were... they were very ill. But we took them in. They perished when the Darkspawn flooded Old Crestwood.
How did Darkspawn manage that?
They found the dam's controls, wrecked them. All I remember is the refugees and villagers screaming as they drowned. And now, they return to us.
Until later.
Of course.
I am very pleased you joined us, Warden Blackwell.
The honor is mine, Lady Seeker.
We need strong, righteous warriors. Now more than ever.
Righteous? I praise Cassandra. Many wardens have hardly lived righteous lives.
True. Yet you give yourself to an order that would die to protect others. It is never too late to do better, and become more than what you are.
That is the hope.
You honor us, Inquisitor. I am Sister Vaughn. Does the mayor finally plan to drain the lake? I must find someone to retrieve the remains of those lost there.
Have I interrupted a funeral service?
We lost many friends in the first attack. There will be endless time to mourn. The fear is how many more will be added to the pyre. Andraste guide you. Does the mayor finally plan to drain the lake? I must find someone to retrieve the remains of those lost there.
What did you mean by finally drain the lake?
The undead returned only after the light in the lake appeared. If we want to stop them, we must investigate. But the mayor sent no one at all. I fear he thinks that emptying the waters would unleash even more monsters on us.
You want to exhume the corpses at the bottom of the lake?
They were the Maker's children. Their earthly bodies deserve better than abandonment in a mire. A funeral service will help put living minds at ease.
Your devotion does you credit, sister.
Seeker Pentecost. Forgive me. I did not expect to see the right hand of the divine in our humble village.
Be at ease. We have too much to do to stand on rank.
Yes, Seeker. As you say.
Until later.
Farewell.
Your earlier judgment of the Seekers was unfair, Dorian.
Oh? Were they not responsible for keeping peace with the mages?
And what would you say if one judged Tevinter solely on the actions of some of its magisters and slavers? Yes, let us dismiss your homeland as not having a single redeeming quality. The Seekers failed, without question. But the situation was complex, and you well know it.
Cassandra, my mother has a friend who's a Pentagast. Perhaps you know of him.
The Pentagasts are a large clan, Dorian. I cannot know them all, nor would I want to.
Enormously fat man. 3 chins, 4 mansions, 5 ways to sell you out, as mother liked to say.
Oh, I do know him. Cousin Lauren, with the wandering hands.
One thing about the Ferelden people, they're resilient. You'd almost have to be living here.
How do you stand the Skyhold stables?
They're quiet. I like having time to myself.
I can't imagine finding quiet time in that stench.
They're only horses.
They're not horses. They're dung monsters with hooves and tails. I understand the lake has been a source of local myths for centuries. Corypheus hoped to accomplish? Dorian, you must know.
Let me guess, because he's Tevinter.
Well, you have better insight into the Tevinter mind than anyone else here.
Darling Cassandra, Corypheus is from a Tevinter that's been dead and gone 1,000 years. Whatever nostalgic vision he's selling, it has little to do with my Tevinter. Or his followers, frankly.
You joined the Seekers when you were young, did you not?
I wanted to join the Templars, but was given to the Seekers.
So you knew what you wanted, even if you didn't get it.
I wanted vengeance at first, but I discovered a deeper joy in duty.
That's good. Some of us take much longer to find our place.
And some never find it. We are both lucky.
Dorian, I can't believe you drank that swill at the tavern.
I can't believe they served that swill at the tavern. What is Skyhold coming to?
Then why did you drink it?
I couldn't stop. With each sip, it can't be that bad, can it? Before I knew it, I was analyzing the nuances of its flavor, observing its effect on my nausea. I was in a catatonic trance, fueled by the stench of disgusting dwarven ale.
Or you're a drunkard with terrible taste.
There is that.
Nothing to report, sir.
Warden recruiter. That sounds interesting.
It's not easy finding people willing to shoulder such a terrible responsibility.
Here I thought you poked around prisons, hunting for murderers, desperate to escape the noose.
That's what you think of wardens?
It's not such a terrible thing. Some of my best friends are murderers.
They are men and women atoning for what they've done by giving of themselves. They fight for people like you. People in silks and velvets who talk and judge.
Who's judging now?
I know your kind.
I understand the lake has been a source of local myths for centuries. Warden and Hawk should be inside that cave.
Cassandra, I owe you an apology.
Apologize to me? For what?
For judging your seekers. Considering my feelings on Tevinter, I shouldn't throw stones.
That is remarkably decent of you, Dorian.
It was fun to goad you. You get this little knot between your eyebrows. See? There it is. Delightful.
Continue on this path and we'll see if it remains such.
Glad you made it. I just got here myself. My contact with the wardens should be at the back of the cave.
There was a group of wardens out there hunting a senior warden. They said he was a traitor.
Of course they did. They may even have believed it. How much blood is shed by good men following bad orders?
Let's go.
What is it with Ferelden and the undead? Didn't Redcliffe have the same problem? What is...
It's just us. I brought the Inquisitor.
Wait. You have a Grey Warden with you?
Warden Blackwall.
You're Blackwall? Duncan, my mentor, he spoke of you.
Duncan. Of course. Good man.
I'm Alistair. It's an honor to meet all of you. I wish it was someplace nicer.
Are you the Alistair who fought the Archdemon with the hero of Ferelden?
I need to change my name. Yes, that was me. War, betrayal, darkspawn, all lots of fun. And made for excellent stories, I'm sure. Nobody cares about that anymore. I answer to Warden Commander Clarel now. Like everyone else.
Most of you wardens disappear. Then I run into a darkspawn magister named Corypheus. Do you think that one might have something to do with the other?
When Hawk killed Corypheus, the wardens thought the matter resolved. But archdemons don't die from simple injury. I feared Corypheus might have the same power, so I started to investigate. I found hints, but no proof. And then, not long after, every warden in Orlais began to hear the calling.
I recall that being a bad thing. But I don't recall you telling me about all this.
It was a secret. A very dangerous one. I try to actually keep a few of my oaths to the wardens.
Is the calling some sort of Grey Warden ritual?
Well, wardens are tied to the Darkspawn. We're connected somehow. And eventually that connection poisons you. You get bad dreams, and then you start to hear the music. It calls to you, quiet at first. and then so loud, you can't bear it. At that point, you say farewell and go into the deep roads to die fighting. In death, sacrifice.
And every Grey Warden in Orlais is hearing that right now. They think they're dying.
Yes, I think Corypheus caused this somehow. If all the Wardens die, who will stop the next Blight? That's what has them so terrified.
And then they do something desperate. Which is, of course, what Corypheus wants.
Is the calling they're hearing real, or is Corypheus mimicking it somehow?
I have no idea. Before all this, I'd barely heard of Corypheus. I didn't even know he was supposed to be a Magister until I started digging around. But right now, all that matters is the Wardens are acting like they're going to die.
You said all the Wardens are hearing the calling. Does that include you? And also you, Blackwall?
Unfortunately, yes. When I'm talking or fighting, I can almost ignore it. But whenever things are quiet, I can hear it. It's like a song you can't get out of your head. Damned annoying, frankly.
I do not fear the calling. And worrying about it only gives it power. Anything Corypheus does will only strengthen my resolve.
How can Corypheus make all these Wardens hear the calling?
I have no idea. I suppose it's part of what he is. Corypheus is tied to the Blight, and not just a product of it like most Darkspawn. Wardens are connected to the Darkspawn too. That's how he seems able to control Wardens who get too close to him. And that's likely what he's doing here as well. Somehow.
So the Wardens are making some last, desperate attack on the Darkspawn.
I saw what a Blight did to Ferelden. If Wardens hadn't stopped it, there'd be no more Thedas. Warden Commander Clarel proposed some drastic things, blood magic and such, to prevent further Blights before we die. I protested. Maybe too loudly. And Clarel sent guards and... well... here I am. Wardens were gathering here, in the western approach. It's an old Tevinter ritual tower. I'm going to investigate. I could use some help. We should get to that ritual tower in the western approach. Ideally before it lives up to its name.
You mentioned Warden Commander Clarel. Is she behind this?
She's the one who summoned me and the other Wardens to Orlais when we started hearing the calling. I don't know her well. She's a mage. Smart, careful, determined. The sort of mage the Templars told me to keep a close watch over. Makes her the best kind of Warden. Or at least I would have thought so. Maybe the Templars aren't wrong about everything.
Do you think she's helping Corypheus willingly, or was she duped?
Clarel would never serve something that looks like a Darkspawn willingly. I heard about an advisor of some kind. Maybe we'll learn more at the western approach.
Corypheus was held in a Warden prison, right? So the Wardens should know all about him.
You'd think the Wardens would share information with each other, but they're really big on keeping secrets. Maybe they think some knowledge is too dangerous, I don't know. I only found out about Corypheus after I started digging for information. Even then, it wasn't much. For most Wardens, he'd be nothing more than an old legend, dead long ago. If they knew of him at all.
Was the hero of Ferelden involved in all this?
I'm not sure. After we defeated the Archdemon, he was made Warden Commander of Ferelden. He disappeared some time ago. Not long before I started investigating rumors of Corypheus. He may have joined the Orlesian Wardens after I went into exile. If so, hopefully he'll be on our side. But I wouldn't count on it. When we fought the Archdemon, he did things that... he walks a dark path.
You were there, weren't you? You helped fight the archdemon.
I'm going to be answering that question for the rest of my life. Yes, I was there. It was big. The hero of Ferelden was brave. But that was 10 years ago. What have you done for us lately, Alistair? New times. New problems.
What's it like, being a warden?
Oh, it's wonderful. You get fresh peaches delivered every morning, first choice of local village girls, and bunnies too. Well, maybe it's not that. Not even close to that. I watched my brothers die at Ostagar soon after I joined. I never thought I'd see wardens kill themselves.
Why were the wardens trying to kill you?
When Clarel started talking blood magic and demons to deal with the calling, I said it wasn't a good idea. First, it was awkward silences, some coughing. But when I mentioned Corypheus, things really went wild. The warden mages said I was interfering. Called me a traitor. Funny how often that happens to me.
We'll talk later.
Could you be a little more gentle the next time we spar, Cassandra?
Why? You can take it?
Yes, but I'd rather not.
I did not realize you were made of glass.
Bruised glass, thank you.
I heard what he said. Hopefully we'll find some answers in the western approach. Though I fear what those answers will be. I've seen too much blood magic to ever trust where it leads.
Alistair speaks highly of you, Blackwell.
He does? We just met.
You knew his mentor, Duncan.
Right.
What was he like?
Well, Alistair's a good man. He helped end the Blight. And Duncan's the sort even he would look up to.
What do you know of my kind, Blackwall?
I know that what comes out of your mouth is the same drivel that comes out of theirs.
It might sound that way to someone who's been clubbed on the head too often.
Careful I don't club you on the head.
That's what I'd expect from your kind.
Let's go.
what happened in Redcliffe had better not spread.
Oh? Why not?
You think mages will be better off if people know they can change the future?
Ignoring that that's not the case, I suspect people will use any excuse to hate us.
Then you should not give them more.
Did everyone act like this when the sword was invented? Oh, my blushing butt cheeks. Round up everyone who can use these pointy things and lock them away.
It is not the same thing, and you know it.
Someone help!
Some of my countrymen look at the current state of our nation and despair. They hear how powerful and glorious we once were and think that would be better. It has to be. What they overlook is that Corypheus wasn't here for our downfall. He has no idea it was unavoidable.
Could he be convinced of the truth?
You're asking me? I'll wager he believes he is the truth.
something to say, mage?
If I had something to say, I'd say it.
That's it? I'd expect more from a man who can't stop talking about how clever he is.
And I'd expect no less from a brutish thug.
Better that than a pompous brat.
You two are such men.
Well, I'm a man.
Best pound your chest, so nobody doubts.
It's interesting watching you, Dorian. The way you carry yourself when you use magic.
I am very good at the whole magic thing.
No, it's not that. You find joy in it. Not shame, and it shows.
Why be ashamed? Power should be respected, not swept under the carpet.
Something we Southerners need to learn, perhaps?
Maybe you're not a complete moron.
We were having a moment. Now you've ruined it.
Chose a bad time to come knocking. Between the corpses and the wyvern, nothing here is safe. What I wouldn't give to get my hands on that animal.
There's a wyvern causing trouble.
It used to hunt in the mountains. Didn't bother anyone but the bandits. Lately, the beast got it in his head to come down here. It almost crippled Gauld's little boy. Best someone kill it. I hope I get my hands on the liver. It makes a poison that kills rats like nothing.
If you're Judith, there's a man in the village concerned about you.
That must be Gauld, fretful as ever. I'm glad he stayed in Crestwood. He's fast as you please with a loom, but terrible with a sword.
Do you farm out here?
The name's Judith. I farm and I mend things for the village and people passing through. I did a fair trade with traveling merchants before the undead started attacking. And those bandits. Not to mention that dragon.
What do you know about the dragon?
She moved in a month ago. The guards tried to run her off, but she snapped one's head off and she flew away. Poor Hamold. At least it was quick. Since then, she's eaten 3 horses, 5 goats, and 2 cats.
Until later.
Be safe.
Caught the eye of a young woman in that village Blackwall.
I'm sure you're mistaken.
You're right. She was undoubtedly looking at me. quaint area. Fereldans live a bit like barbarians, don't they?
It's been many years since I came to this part of Ferelden.
There's the keep the mayor talked about, and the bandits.
Archers on the ramparts. Good defenses. They'll be hard to pry out.
At the gates! Get them!
It's odd how you've won over so many at Skyhold, Dorian.
You're surprised they haven't all dismissed me as the charming but ultimately wicked Magister.
Never. You're more the spoiled prince, and I question your reasons for being here.
A prince? I've moved up in the world. My reasons for being here are the same as yours, thank you.
I find that difficult to believe.
Perhaps when you get past the simple heuristics that define your world, we'll get along.
Dorian, I would prefer if you stopped referring to me as that hairy lummox.
When did I do that?
The tavern, the smithy, the servants. You said it to the gate guards as we left Skyhold.
That does sound like me.
Is it true that Leliana knows everything about everyone?
Only the Maker knows everything about everyone. But it doesn't hurt if people believe it of Leliana.
You encourage it?
It keeps people honest. Besides, if there is anything to learn, Leliana will learn it. I've seen her work.
Right. Good to know.
I've often wondered what the average man thinks about mage freedom.
If you really cared, you could ask. Oh, but wait. That would involve talking to dirty commoners like me.
True. So much for that. Any thoughts on this Herald of Andraste business, Blackmore?
Why?
I just need to know you're capable of higher thought. For my own comfort.
Then you'd be better served giving me a word puzzle.
You'd do a word puzzle if I gave it to you?
Not a chance.
My family once took me to Navarra, Cassandra.
You undoubtedly saw more of it than I ever did.
I was young, and all I wanted to do was visit a necropolis. I was desperate.
They're dark, and full of undead. And the smell of stale incense still makes me want to vomit.
Ah, there goes that childhood fantasy.
Why are you looking at me like that, Dorian?
I'm imagining what you would look like in a dress.
If my uncle couldn't put me in one, neither shall you.
What is it with Ferelden and the undead? Didn't Redcliffe have the same problem? One thing about the Ferelden people, they're resilient. You had a brother?
I did. I still miss him sometimes.
I had a sister, a younger sister. She died when I was very little.
I'm sorry.
I often think about what she'd be like now, had she lived.
Much like her brother, I would expect.
Make her, I wouldn't wish that on her. All this hair. It'd be a shame to let this place go empty. The Inquisition could make good use of it.
Finally, this place is presentable. What now?
We should drain the lake. The mayor said the dam controls were through the fort.
How do...
Welcome, Inquisitor. My name is Charter. Leleana's eyes and ears, especially in this place. I'll have some information for you once my man Butcher finds us. He's running late.
When's the spy named Butcher supposed to arrive?
Half-hour ago, by the south gate. I hope he's only delayed. Butcher's last message swore he had secrets for us worth 10 times his weight in gold.
What's happening in Crestwood?
The roads are nearly deserted. Too many undead keep rising from the lake.
Did Sister Nightingale tell you why she wanted agents here?
We lie on the main road between Denerim and Val Royeaux. Couriers stop here all the time. For what they're paid, some have surprisingly loose tongues.
What's happening in Crestwood?
The roads are nearly deserted. Too many undead keep rising from the lake.
I should be going.
Another time.
And how did you join the Wardens?
It's the usual story.
There is no such thing as a usual story.
A tavern, a chance meeting, a senior warden who saw worth in a worthless man. I'm not alone.
There is more to this. You just don't want to tell it.
No, you don't want to hear it. I notice you seem to focus yourself before battle, Cassandra.
I still my mind and focus my thoughts on the Maker. I ask for his guidance. I ask to be reforged into an instrument of his will. What about you? How do you center yourself?
I tell myself, it's them or you. And if it's you, be damn sure to take the bastards with you.
Well, that's...
Crude, yes. But it works.
It's been many years since I came to this part of Ferelden. We hear odds.
They say your family almost drove the dragons to extinction. A shame. Majestic beasts.
Majestic? Say that after you see a pile of dragon shit bigger than your house.
Here. The mayor said the dam controls were through this gate.
Quaint area. Fereldans live a bit like barbarians, don't they?
That building on the dam must be where we can open the floodgates.